I think it means access to people may or may not have the experience in the industry, or even for people who are actually in the financial industry, that they could be able to see that fintech and then financial technology evolve in different markets, in different segments, such as wealth, payments, mortgage, credit cards, and all that are very different. So I think that will create a platform for people to learn, to exchange knowledge. And most importantly, I would think that it creates a lot of inspiration and innovation ideas for them. So for my topic today on wealth management platform as a service, I think the most thing I wanted the audience to take away is, where do you find value creation and how do you actually scale up that value creation? So most of the time, it is not that hard to think about ideals, to be a bit more innovation. But the most difficult thing is how do you bring that innovative idea to production, to execution, and to scale it up. So find that. Hopefully this session could be very helpful, giving some inspiration for audience to explore the opportunities. Digital technology and innovation in the financial sector is no longer new. It at a different stage for different sectors. For example, I think it thrives and develops much faster in the payment industry with Alipay, Tencent Pay, and all other digital payments in the ecosystem. It is relatively also easy adoption for digital because that's relatively lower barrier to entry and then less complex on regulations. Then evolves into lending, which we all have gone through eras of P2P lending, peer-to-peer lending, and then then coming into regulations to regulate further on that digital inclusion of P2P lending. Then evolving to, I would say, the least adoption of the financial technologies probably in the insurance sector compared to all the subsectors. Wealth management is the bulk of the time I spend today to talk about digital inclusion in the wealth management, which I would think that has made a huge progress in the past 20 years. Now, insurance, by the nature of its product, one is heavily regulated, and two is very complex products, and three, it doesn't have much of a liquidity needs for insurance, particularly for life insurance products. I would think that for the least adoption for digital revolution, it's probably insurance sector. So I think sustainability is a topic we also touched today. It is inevitable and it is the right thing to do for all of us. It's everyone's responsibility. Now, for technology and the business leader, I think in order to make it successful, first thing start is education. Awareness and education for ESG is very important. How do you make that education easily accessible to the end users and investors? And how do you make the education even fun to learn? That's very essential. The other thing is that I think regulation will need to play a very important role of adopting more green and sustainable future. So as I mentioned that I think the financial sector generally a little bit lagging in terms of adopting all the green and environmental rules that EU and the UN has been adopted or implemented a long time ago. I would say the regulation in the financial sectors in different countries that have mandatory report on ESG indicator have tracking or allocation of their assets according to the ESG standard are very essential to further push the green and sustainable future. So for a leader to drive innovation, I think the most important thing is be bold and never be scared of failure. So innovation by all means that you don't know how do you create the products or the services or the business model, and you have to experiment and you have to try and fail and try again. it's important to also for the leader to creating such a culture that in the organization where they're adopting innovation as their key motto, and then they're also creating that environment, a safe environment, that if you fail your innovation, it's okay. And by means that innovation will causing some failures, and then it's important to retry. So I think the culture, the vision, more importantly, the leader have a tolerance for failure is very essential for innovation. So I've been working in the industry for about 18 years, and then every day I wake up, still feel very excited. A lot of things inspires me, but most importantly, I think working in the financial industry, it is the movement of the market inspires me. I think when there is a movement, that means whether it's market volatility, whether it means a new industry coming along, whether a new player or products or technology, or blockchain or tokenization, all that inspires me. So innovation, new things really get me excited. This may sound a little bit controversial. For new talents, I would still think that if there's an opportunity, if this is a first-time job, maybe spend 2 years in a traditional financial institution with a technology-enabled mindset, because generally I would say younger generation, the new tech talents, they really have that mindset. Now, it's important to really understand how the traditional financial institution works. And then, therefore, your innovation, your technology capability can be applied to the right places. A lot of times, we can see the tech talents that they come in with very strong background, but a little bit lack of financial institution knowledge. And therefore, they could potentially come into ideas that may not be applicable in the industry. So my advice is to really put yourself down there for 2 years, for example, then really get down to the nitty-gritty of the knowledge in the field. And so then you'll be able to leverage your technology expertise in that industry very well. It's a great platform and community for people in the industry to learn, to share experience being successful experience or even failure experience, to also exchange their ideas and also network. I think potentially, as the program continues to mature, it maybe makes sense to have, converting the lecture into an interactive discussion, and then maybe be able to organize the community with more network, and even potentially have a venture to be supported by the organization that incubator drive some of the new innovation of ideas in the fintech space. In 10 years, I hope fintech will be able to offer equal opportunities for investors to invest in wide range of financial products. Now, obviously, that comes in also with the suitable products for the right customers. In 10 years, I hope the 10 times 1,000 tech for inclusion platform will be able to, in addition, offering education and a network for the fintech ecosystem, also be able to become an incubator for some innovative ideas.